show you the huge losses that are being taken by farmers in the San Joaquin Valley. We have, as I said, we have about almost 2,000 acres, but there are 200,000 acres of pistachios planted in the valley. And this year, the total production on the pistachio industry was off 100 million pounds. Now, I'm not saying that was all due to salt intrusion, but a great portion of it was. And at $2 a pound, that's a loss of $200 million. Now, we are one commodity out of over 350 commodities out there. And I don't know how you'd ever run the numbers, but I guarantee you it's well over $1 billion, well over $1 billion that the farmers are taking. And a lot of them are not able to continue. They're starting to tear out almond trees, for example. A lot are being torn out because almonds are very, very susceptible to salt. So here we are, the third year in a row now, as far as production is concerned, and we're falling further and further behind.
Couple of minutes, 2 minutes? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, I want to illustrate to you people the actual cost of water for us for the over a period of the last 5 years. In 2006, and this is our average cost for water for this ranch, is $300,000. In 2007, we were still able to get some transfer water down from the north, but we had to pay for it, and it cost us $600,000 for water. Then in 2008, it cost us almost $400 an acre foot, so it was $1,300,000 for water. Last year, it cost us $2 million for our water. Now, all of our other culture costs combined are $2.6 million. So we're getting close to where water is just almost as much as all of our cultural costs. And it's driving us under. And this year, hopefully it won't cost quite that much, but nevertheless, we're in business to make a profit. So the really frustrating part about all of this is that we're subsidizing a little fish that's 2 or 3 inches long, and now they want to bring in the salmon and tell us that that should be subsidized also. But I'm going to take a moment here, Martha, and I'm going to explain a little bit about those 2 fish because they play such a huge role in this whole scenario. The Delta smelt, they claim the pumps are causing the cause of the problem. And Judge Wanger, who passes down all these judgments, protests that he can only, his judicial authority only has to do with the pumps. So all of the environmentalists and people that bring the suits against us, all they have to prove to the judge is that the pumps are actually killing fish. Well, yes, they are killing some fish. And yes, this has been going on for years and years. But what else is happening to the Delta? And this is what is so astounding. The National Academy of Sciences has just finished a 6-8 month report to find out if they're justified in turning the pumps down. They say it's now justified because it is killing some of the Delta smelt. Now they announced that they're going to have a second phase to their investigation, and they're going to study what other things causes might be involved in the demise of the Delta smelt. And this is amazing. They're going to take a year and a half to do this, and this committee is going to make a lot of money. Okay, but it's pretty obvious from scientific reports that have been put out over the years, and the very finest one that has ever come out is called the Critical Assessment of the Delta Smelt Population in the San Francisco Estuary. And that was put out by a biologist, scientist from the University of California, Davis. It took them 5 years to do the report. And in that report, There is so much evidence that shows that the invasive species, there are 185 invasive species or more that have invaded the Delta in the last century. 95% in the Delta are non-native fish. There's only 5% of native fish left in the Delta. And they're trying to save portions of that 5%. And what do we have to pay for that? It's extraordinary.
Angry, doesn't it? Saddam Hussein, he wanted to flush people out that were his enemies in the southern region where the swamps were, so he drained the swamps. And he removed the obstacle, or his opposition. I don't know if you've noticed, but what is the reddest part of the state of California? It is the part that is conveniently being denied what it needs to sustain its way of life. It is the part of the state that is being forced to sell their land, to sell their businesses, and to leave the state or leave the area. And I don't think, and there's no coincidence there. And one of these gentlemen, I hope, will talk about near relief. We had a bill that actually was on the floor, but that was killed by Pelosi, by Cardoza, by Costa and Miller at the last minute. And it was literally stopped, but if we don't talk about that during the presentations, we'll talk about it during the question and answer. Our next speaker, Piedad Ayala, is going to talk about the unemployment rates and the impact that this this government-caused drought has had on families, the people who live in this community. And Piedad he's a farmer, and he operates a large custom farming operation and also a farm labor operation in the Central Valley. Piedad.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to this beautiful city in Irvine. It's the second time I'm here. Last time I came here, I came to the water plant. You guys got a beautiful water treatment plant here in the area. I don't know exactly where it is, but I was here last year, and I can see how you guys recycle your own water and how you guys thinking and doing everything to prevent the future. We hear about all the economy. We hear about what's going on in the Delta, really getting everybody confused if there's a fish, if there's a shortage of water. But what about the other side of the picture? All those people that harvest the vegetables that we put on our table, all these farm workers, all these other tractor drivers, truck drivers, they are involved in all this problem that we're talking about. When we're talking about cities in our area, a 41 and 42% unemployment rate in the United States of America, I look back and I wonder if we really are in the United States of America. Because 4 years ago, in this time of the year, we used to be knocking doors, inviting people to go to work to plant our crops, to harvest our crops. And lately, it's the other way around. They're knocking our doors. Last week, they have a job offer in one of the communities close to Fresno, and they were needing 200 employees, and there was almost 3,000 people attending to that job offer. When we look back and we see these people, they used to be working, harvesting those crops, driving those tractors, driving those trucks, working in the packing houses, and in producing and moving the economy in our country. And now today, we have to see the same people in an unemployment line applying for unemployment. People that work in the same job for